Hey, everybody, and welcome to the HERstory Collaborative. My name is Jen Buck, and I'm your host here in the collab. I'm a professional speaker, executive strategist, author of 5 books, and a nonprofit founder. My speaking and training business is focused on advocating, activating, and amplifying high-performing women. And that's really what the HERstory Collaborative is all about. Trailblazing women who are changing their little corner of the world. Now, I'm really excited for my next guest because she's someone who has inspired me greatly throughout my career. And literally at the beginning of my career, she was one of those women who took me in, gave me some information that helped me throughout my career, and was a great cheerleader along the way. Her name is Gail Cohen. She's the founder and president of Power Seminars. And since 1983, Gail has worked with clients throughout the US and the world. With her help, people as diverse as bikers to CEOs have achieved amazing results, leaving her workshops empowered and confident. Now, Gail is a complete rock star. And let me just say, she is the author of so many books, it's crazy. I'm just going to throw a few at you. She's the author of Reducing Stress at Home and Work, How to Deliver Persuasive and Effective Presentations, Thinking Outside the Lines, Teambuilding, How to Play So Everybody Wins, and many, many other best-selling books, audios, and DVDs. Her trademark delivery, Make Learning Fun, ignites people while keeping them comfortable and fully engaged. This is such a joy for me. Welcome to the collab, Gail.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I did pretty good. I like hearing that about me.
I know, isn't this fun? I always say, when I get people in here, it's like a reminder of all the things you've done. When somebody decides to just lay it out there, it's such a joy, isn't it?
True. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. So you're coming to us all the way from Maine at the end of a dirt road, all
Thank
the way in the woods of Maine.
Yeah.
Boy, have things changed, huh?
Yes, indeed. For the better. For the better.
Yes, yes. So to give a little more background, you and I met, I'm afraid to even say this out loud, Gail, 24 years ago. I know. It's
No.
crazy. Yeah. 24 years ago when I started speaking professionally. And I remember always, hearing about Gail Cohen, Gail Cohen, Gail Cohen. And then I remember meeting you at our first event, as a big organization, all the speakers coming in and getting a chance to see you. And I can't tell you how your grace was so calming, comforting, and actually also really empowering to me because I was scared to death. At the time, Gail, I was 28 years old, coming into this space as just a kid, and you were so incredibly warm and welcoming. So I just have to thank you for that.
Telling me that. That's so important. Oh, God. And that goes to the people before me that did the same thing for me. So it's just about reaching out to women. That's what it's about. Pulling them
Yeah.
along.
Yeah. So you've been doing this since 1983. You have been speaking around the world, inspiring audiences. And how in the world did you get into this? Because you are definitely one of the pioneers for women in this business. I remember, Gail, it was all men on the platform.
Oh, yes. Oh, God, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So what got you into this?
I think I was always in it, Jen. I think as a little kid, my favorite thing to do was to talk,
Yeah.
and wasn't something people wanted me to do, but I seemed to push through it, and I just wanted to talk.
Yeah.
I know one of the questions you said is, what were you like as a little girl? I was curious, impatient, happy, and noisy.
Yes.
All the time. And I came from a family, God love them, that were very quiet and very soft spoken.
Yep.
I was the weird one there. But my
Yes.
weirdness, fortunately, I had parents and a sister that rejoiced in it. They thought I was a barrel of laughs. They loved it.
Yeah.
So encouragement from that.
I love it. I was very similar. So my family is very calm and quiet, and I would even say like appropriately reserved, and then there was me. I mean, and I was just like a barrel of monkeys all the time, every emotion right here on my sleeve, and anything that brought me joy was, or actually any emotion. It was just like this uncontrollable emotion. It was always just about feeling all the feels of life. And I can relate to that so much. I think I was just always sort of out there on the edge as well, you
Yeah.
know?
Nobody stopped us or muffled us, you know? I mean, the people that we cared most about didn't do that
Yeah.
because would never be here if they had. So we owe a lot to them, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. What did you think you would grow up to be when you were a little girl?
When I was a little girl, a woman had two choices, teacher or nurse.
Mm,
Well, let me add a third, secretary.
yeah.
Those were the three choices. And you're much younger than me, Jen, but you ask anybody my age and they will tell you those were the three choices.
Yeah.
Therefore, most very good girls marched into those three.
Yeah.
And those professions are wonderful. It's just, it isn't me
Hmm.
at all, not being, noisy and happy all the time. And
Yeah.
that didn't fit. So I cast my own. And one of the things that I thought about in this question was I started three businesses when I was a kid. And I think I did that to show that, hey, I don't need to be a teacher or a nurse. I can be something else. So I started three businesses. And one of the business was a donut stand.
Hmm.
I was 7, maybe.
Wow.
And so my donut stand, we asked our mothers for donuts or cookies, something like that. And
Yes.
it was a few each. And then we got together, my little gang, and we built this with cardboard boxes and tables and chairs borrowed from our houses. And we built this little stand and we put our donuts out. And kids came by and that we knew. Nobody came by that we didn't know.
Yeah.
And they bought them. And then we charged, I think, like a nickel a piece. And so we that money and we divided it among us, and I got to look at this money that I made with my friend
Mm.
to do this business.
Wow.
So yeah, I thought, that works pretty well.
Sure.
So sales, and what is sales but talking, but
Yeah.
not just talking for talking's sake, but something meaningful. And that's what sales is, and that's what we did.
Yeah.
The second business, I had three businesses. After that, the second business I did was a newspaper.
Hmm.
A newspaper, we're talking to everybody.
Yeah.
So up and down the streets of our neighbors, there's my two besties. My two besties were Celia and Patsy.
Yeah.
And we went up and down the street and would knock on the door and would say, "Hi, Mrs. Flynn, could you tell us anything new that's going on with your family? Because we're starting a newspaper."
Oh, that's so cute.
Gave us things like, "There's a pothole on my street that I wish somebody would fix." So we'd
Oh,
write that down. Another would say, "Our dog is lost and we can't find him." So we'd write, or so-and-so had a new baby. So we'd write all those things down.
yeah.
I had asked my parents the year before for Christmas to get a printing press.
Hmm.
So I got a printing press. And it was somewhere between a toy and the real thing,
Yeah.
something we could use. So we put all of our information together. We typed it one letter at a time and we ran it off. And then we went to the entire neighborhood and shared our newspaper.
That is so cute.
That one, but we were feeling really good.
That is so cute. Oh my gosh. How old were you when you did that?
It was about 9, 10, maybe.
Oh my gosh. And what was the third business?
The third business was the best one, and that's probably what led me to being a professional speaker, and that was theater.
Ah. Hmm.
Theater. So again, my two besties, but we needed a dude to help us with hanging curtains and stuff,
Yeah.
and none always wanted to help us. It was too sissy for them.
Yeah.
We had to pay him.
Oh
So
no.
we got Brother Julian was his name, and we got Brother to help us out that we would pay him from the proceeds. And we took my garage. My dad pulled his car. In those days, everybody had one car. Remember those days?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So my dad pulled his car out of the garage, and we hung up a curtain in the middle, and we decided on a play. And we had costumes in the back, and then we went around to all the neighbors, especially the parents, because they were
Yeah.
going to in. And we put on our play, and we sang and we danced and we told stories, and we made the money from the play, and we paid Brother again for what he did and
Yeah.
put away, and we divided up the money and we took our little proceeds.
How you're quite an enterprising little kid way back when.
was. It made me think of that, Jen, because, I don't think I've thought of that for years and years and years. But your question, I said, yeah, gee, I guess I did know what I wanted to be when I grew up. I was doing,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, always, yeah, always enterprising, always building, always connecting. I mean, it just all sort of fits. And then, of course, the side of speaking that is not just the teaching, but also, the entertainment and the ability to bring people along with you when you're telling a story and teaching them something impactful. I mean, it's all there. I love it.
It's the heart, right?
All right, so we're back after a small technical snag, but we were able to get this back up and running, and I'm so grateful to you. So when we were talking, you had mentioned that you had been very enterprising as a little girl, and I'm curious, in 1983, how did you get into speaking? Because, like we've said, this is a very male-dominated field of speakers. At least it really was, back in 1983. So how did you start, in this industry of professional speaking?
I started a business called Power Seminars, and what I was a consultant. So I would go to companies and consult with them on doing a better job, because anybody who's out in the business knows that people terrible at running their businesses.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty easy. You just go in and you say, you got to do this and you got to do that, and here's what will work.
Yeah.
So I did. And during the process there, they would say to me, you sold us on this and we bought it the first time out. Our salespeople just are really having a hard time selling. Do you know anything about selling? And I'd say, sure. So I would run classes on selling for them. And then the head of an engineering department with I think it was CompuGraphics, head of an engineering department happened to sit in on my selling training. And he came up to me and he said, I would like you to do what you did with these people with the engineering department, but just take out the selling part.
Got it.
There's a challenge.
Yeah, totally.
So I showed them that selling isn't just buying a product. Selling is everything you do in your life. So that started me on selling. Then someone from National Seminars saw me doing a public event and came up to me and said, would you ever consider doing this just out in the across the country for different organizations, and we provide all the business and you do the work?
Yeah.
And I said, yeah.
Yeah.
So I went and met with let me see, who was it that I met with? It was vice president at the Sharon Yoder.
Yes.
Sharon Yoder and Mark.
I can't think of his name right now either. The brothers.
Yeah, the brothers. Truett.
Yes.
So I met with them, and they on the spot said, please, would you take some business from us? And I said, well, let me think about that. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was so wonderful, because you got to rehearse all your stuff. You got to try out things that you were going to use with regular clients. And it was a wonderful experience. And they were great. They were just people. They truly were.
I agree with you on that. What do you love about developing people, about being on stages and working with people? Like, what is it for you that gets you coming back over and over again? Because it's not an easy job, right?
No, it is not an easy job. And I think the women listening to us, just to shout out to them, what a time they are. This is the Me Too time.
Yes.
They're in it. They have the opportunity to take this to the sky. I am so in awe of the women now and all they have, the opportunity. And I think what charges me, and I bet you will agree, is attitude changing. If you know this, Jen, someone comes into your room and looks at you and says, I don't want to be here, my boss said I had to, your energy level just explodes.
Yes.
You can't wait till the end of the day, because you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that guy or gal is going to leave and say, thank you so much. I didn't realize all that. And you feel like, I made a difference.
Yes.
I made a difference. That's what charges me. And all of the women watching this, you make a difference. This is your moment. Climb that hill. Remember Amanda at the inauguration? Climb that hill. This is our time.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. You know, it's been very exciting for me. I've got a lot of women in my circle who
Yeah.
are incredibly collaborative. And so growing up in business, I didn't necessarily, for the first 10 years of my career, when I was at Discover Card, when they were a startup and it was very fast moving and very exciting. And I had a great group of women that I started out working with, but then I sort of graduated and went up to a different level within the company. And
Yeah.
I lost all that female
Yes.
empowerment, right?
Yes.
That
Yes.
connection. And
I know.
then I went to the women's conference. And once
Uh,
I started traveling, I was like, oh, my people. But I realized quickly, yeah, that those women doing what we did, you
yeah.
too,
Yeah.
they were the unicorns. That wasn't how it was in the real world, you know? And so I've always felt like this whole competitive thing doesn't work for me. This whole,
We need
divide
to
and conquer.
stop that together. Together. We need to be together. Yeah.
Yeah. And when I
100.
look at the young women that are a part of the millennial generation, they
Mhm.
are extraordinary. They
Yeah.
believe in collaboration. They believe in doing everything together, that we are truly better together. And I've been so inspired by that, because I do think that this is a different time. That,
It,
like you just said, it's a different time.
it is. And we've got it right now. And those young women can take it all. And Jen, I have something I would like to read to you. It's only one page. If you could
Sure.
make sure I just have that,
You can do it
everything
now.
else you're
Sure.
going to do it now. Oh, okay.
Sure.
Um, and this was my model growing up. She was my model growing up. We need to be happy. We need to show that happiness. We need to take it to the top. All right, here it is. It's just one page. People ask me who was my person that most inspired me, and this is the person, Mary Carmody. Later, Mary Carmody Paul. And Mary Carmody was what they called in those days an Irish widow, which meant that her husband left her and returned to Ireland, never to be heard from again.
Wow.
She had 4 young boys, and she cleaned people's houses and scrubbed floors in office buildings in order to feed them.
Mm.
When she contracted tuberculosis, she was hospitalized, and the boys were placed as wards of the state of Massachusetts. Little records were kept, and they were adults before she saw them again, and you can imagine the tragedies that they went through.
Yeah.
Um, Maddie was her youngest, and as a teenager, he was convicted of a crime everyone knew he didn't commit, but he was Irish and he was troublesome. So he spent the rest of his life in prison. Leo came back from the war with what they used to call shell shock, and of course now we call it PTSD. Joseph, her oldest son, died at an early death, cancer. Mary liked to tell how she ordered pie in a restaurant on her way home from Joe's funeral and accidentally put ketchup on it instead of whipped cream. I guess she preferred to laugh at her errors than pull others into her grief.
Mm.
That leaves John, a middle boy who lived, married, and had children. One of them was me.
Oh,
My grandmother was the happiest person I've ever met. She was a storyteller. She danced the Irish jig every year on St. Patrick's Day, and she found humor everywhere. Mary was my original model of joy, of joy. The sound of her laugh rings still in my head. So what I'm saying to the young women that are listening to, watching us now, you need to take that with you. Live fully, live well, no matter what happens to you. Handle the bad stuff. You got to handle it. Be grateful for the good and spread it around you. Laugh, have fun, be all you can be.
oh my gosh, I love that. And the amazing thing is, my next question to you is going to be, what would you say to the women who are coming, after us? And I love that. And I can't believe that was your grandmother.
Yes, it was. It was. She was a great lady, and I looked at her and said, that's what I want to be.
Yes, that's incredible. So I would imagine she's very much your true north. Oh, there she is. Look at her. I love it.
She was great.
Awesome.
Yes, she is my true north.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's incredible. So I think that a lot of women are struggling with imposter syndrome, not thinking they are good enough, not thinking that they have enough,
Oh,
that people value them enough. What would you say to women to kind of help them through that, that self-limiting belief that holds them back, that might keep them from being all they could be? Because it sounds like your true north and your grandmother was just make it happen, keep
yeah.
going. What would you say to women?
Here's the trilogy that I teach people and I teach myself every day. I have to teach myself as much as I teach anybody else. When you run into a blank wall, what worked, what's missing, what's next? So instead of standing there and saying, wah, 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 I didn't get the promotion, or he was mean to me, or whatever it is. Okay, I get it. It's terrible. All right. What worked before?
Mhm.
And what's missing now that this happened? And what's next for you?
Nice.
And that's what I would say to them. What worked, what's missing, what's next? You
Yeah.
need to use this as a current in the like connecting for women.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree. So if you could do all of this again, Gail, what would you do differently?
I have to say, not a thing,
I love that.
not a thing.
Perfection.
Yeah.
Just
Well, it
per
wasn't perfect, and there were many down roads, and I could spend two of these sessions telling you all the horror of my life, but why?
yeah.
Why I got through it.
Right.
It really matters.
Yeah. I
Just
love
move
it.
on. Just move on. What
Yeah.
worked, what's missing, what's next. And now I'm married to Steve.
That's right. The greatest man ever, who we
Yeah,
all knew and loved. Everybody knew Steve as well as they knew you.
I know they did.
Isn't that funny? It's so great. So I like to ask these final speed round questions, and they're
I'm
just sort of fun, and they make you think a little bit. It's just a way for me to give the audience sort of a glimpse behind the curtain as to who you really are and what matters to you. And so I'm going to shoot them at you, and you can just tell me the first thing that comes to mind as we go through them. Is that good?
love it.
Yay. Okay. First question. Who is your favorite woman in history that you would like to get an hour to pick her brain on a park bench?
I have to give you two, Eleanor Roosevelt in the big picture and Granny Paul in the immediate picture.
Love
I
it.
want two women on my park bench.
Yep. You get it. You get your two women. That works for me. What is your favorite place that you have ever visited?
The pond that I grew up on.
Oh, what a beautiful answer. Wow.
Yeah,
And that's in Massachusetts, right?
yes, it is. Yes.
Yeah.
Peabody, Massachusetts, Bartholomew Pond.
Peabody. Love. Okay. If you were given $1 million to give away to a charity, which charity would you choose? Nonprofit org.
Charities, yeah, nonprofit org. To those who struggle for a place to live,
Beautiful.
everybody be able to live somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. This is
horrible.
going to be hard because I know this next question is um, you're a reader. Not only are you an author of many, 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 many books, but you're a reader. So this is going to be a tough question. What is your favorite book or podcast?
I struggled with that, but I came up with something that I feel good about. Anything Hemingway.
Hmm, that's a good answer.
He's he maybe have some flaws,
Yeah,
let's say, but he's an amazing writer.
nice. Nice.
Yeah.
I love it. What's a quirky or wacky fact about you that maybe many people don't know?
Oh my God, how long you got? Oh my God, I wouldn't. Feed the stray dogs in the neighborhood. I don't think
Oh,
anybody knows. I carry dog biscuits in my pockets. And so much so that the dogs come up and start sniffing my pockets and sticking their noses.
yes. Oh, I love that about you. Oh, dogs and babies, man, forget it. I am completely slayed with dogs and babies. Oh, okay, so if you could have any superpower in the world, what would it be?
Any superpower in the world. Happiness. Make happiness.
Oh, ah, just instantly
Not just
happy.
one kindness. Make everybody kind.
Oh, I love that. Yes, that's a good one. What's your most treasured item?
Um, what? Oh, family.
Yeah, yeah, I know that about you. That's great.
They support me in every possible way, and they chew me out when they feel I'm going the wrong way.
Right.
Especially my daughters. I have 3 daughters and a son, as I said to you,
Yeah.
and they're wonderful. I'm so glad that I have them.
Yeah.
It was worth the first horrible marriage.
Yeah. Right. No, I get that for sure. Now, are they all in on the East Coast?
No, those stinkers, they moved all over the place.
Did they?
One lives in Washington State. One lives in Massachusetts, not bad. One lives in Vermont, that's my son. And my eldest daughter lives here in Portland.
Oh,
She moved here from the top of a mountain in California so she could be near me.
no
And
kidding.
she lived away since she was 18 years old. And I'm so grateful for that.
Wow. Portland, Maine is hands down one of the most picturesque and beautiful areas in our entire country. And when I tell people that, they're always like, where? You know, they
Maine.
have no idea that there's something that looks like Portland, Maine in the world.
Grew up with a summer home in Maine. So when I met him, I loved him. And he kept talking about Maine. And I said, are you kidding? Take a look at me. Maine? I don't think so. And 6 years ago, we moved up here year round, and I've never been happier in my life.
Yeah.
Listen, girl, if you're in Portland or anywhere near here, you have to tell us.
You know I will. You know
Yeah.
I will. I promise you. Oh yeah, yeah. I would love, love, love.
You can sleep there. We'll go swimming in our beautiful lake. We'll have a wonderful time.
Oh my gosh, it's happening. The minute this country opens up and I can travel, because I had said to you this to you in a message that I'm dying to see people that I've really cared about for a long time, that I haven't ever had those moments to just sit and be. And you're on that list. Jan is on that list. She was one of the speakers that we used to always travel with. I mean, there are just so many people that I would love to just spend that time, so.
Me too, Jen. Oh, so much so. That's what I miss
Yeah.
more than
Yeah. Agree. Okay. Here's another one for you. Another question. I've just got a few more here. What would be your theme song if you were stepping on stage in front of 30,000 people? What would your theme song be?
I am woman, hear me out.
Yes.
Too good to it, or whatever
Yes.
that is. I think I would. Yes.
Nice.
That touches me every time I hear
Yeah.
it.
Did you see the movie that was done about her life?
Yes, I did. Yes. Amazing.
Phenomenal.
I know.
Phenomenal. Yeah. All right. What is one big thing that you want to accomplish before you leave this planet?
Wherever possible, I want to add kindness.
Yeah.
Wherever there isn't kindness, I want to add that. I want to spread it out. I think kindness is the basis of everything.
Yes.
Absolutely everything, kindness.
I agree.
If we're kind to each other, everybody will have enough to eat.
Yeah.
Everybody
It would solve so many problems, right?
Yeah, it will solve all of our problems if we're just kind.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's so simple to be kind.
It sure is. It
Yeah.
sure is. Well, on that note, I just want to make sure that you give everybody a line to you. How can they connect with you? Where can they find you?
Sure.
I know that people are going to adore you as much as I do. So can you give us your details?
Yes, absolutely. My email is gail@gailcohen.com. My website is gailcohen.com. What else? What else do we need? My phone number, 781-820-8020. Text or sell,
Yeah.
whatever they want to
Awesome.
do. I'm open to anybody that's
Yeah.
going through.
I love
Yes.
that. Yeah, I love it. And hopefully I'll have you on the empowerment series in fall to do some speaking with
Yeah.
some
Keep
of the
me
other girls.
noted about that because I really would like to. Yeah.
I would love that. And before we go, I want to make sure that I give a quick, tip of the hat to our sponsor. Our sponsor is 100 Angels. And what they do is they go into communities and they help communities where people have been financially devastated and don't have, medical care, nutrition, food, clothing, shelter, support on every level. And they have aided over 48,000 people just in the last couple of years. And they're just an extraordinary organization that leads from their heart. And so if you'd like to get in touch with 100 Angels, if you are tuning in right now, you can go to 100angels.org. And we are so incredibly grateful for their support with the show. And Gail, thank
Yes.
you for spending time with me.
Here's a hug.
I know, right? I
You,
adore you.
it was my pleasure. Thank you. Anytime you want to come up and visit or just call and chat, I'm here.
I love it. All right,
Oh,
friend. Well, thanks for being here, and we will connect at some point, I'm certain, probably on social media. For everybody else, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Bye bye.
bye-bye, Jen. Bye-bye. And everybody.